TES online is great, and I just got back online, so this is a really, 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 really good thing that's going on here. Have the elderscrolls.com, in which this is the actual site. And this took a long time, and I'm gonna have to explain probably for a very, very, very long time of what's going on. Right now, we have the system completely working. The All of the sites are working, like AOL, Google, DuckDuckGo, CenturyLink, Xfinity, Comcast. All of the major sites are working, like the site here that you see, and the test site, and the elderscrolls.com. It's a connection for us. We were having some problems earlier, and I'm going to show some things here in a little bit of like some of the problems. The problem. I'm going to go off of um, the site, and just so you can see me. Right over here, as you can see me just talking and talking and talking. The good thing of what I've been talking about is that our time clock was messed up. The amazing thing is the actual connection, which branches us. It's great. The when I got hooked up back hooked up again, the actual internet was provided over from the Philippines over to the United States. And then once the connection was established, going back, we can branch back over to the Philippines, for example. That's an important connection because it shows that our satellite is actually working. And what I consider the ultimate satellite is going through on the site here, as I've been explaining here for the Elder Scrolls. This is the actual test site. It gives us a connection. I was fortunate enough to pay for the site to keep the connection. It was kind of scary because the site has been mirrored by some of the coding that of what's called in the throughout the internet and our devices. I've worked on the radio waves and the communications for many years, and it was very, very, very frustrating, seeing like the actual connection is meant to be in an actual business building. Had a little bit of the connection in the test room over in the building going, but ultimately that connection has been established, where the test signal, the test site is now completely available. And so you guys that have paid before, your connections should be working properly, like in total. It's an amazing thing. And if you haven't paid, I'll explain a little bit like what needs to be paid. Right here in this the site here of theelderscrolls.com, there's a one-time fee of $19.99. That's pretty good. So I'm gonna go off of the screen and I'm gonna leave the site on here for you guys to look at, and I'll be back in a little bit. This is absolutely great, a celebration that we have a connection, that Elder Scrolls has a connection. One of the gals, she was talking about going over to Germany. I don't know her personally, but I do know it's important that over in Germany, for example, they're big into Elder Scrolls, and they want to make sure they can communicate properly. And in that form, they're trying to get that gal to stay in Germany, whether she knows German or not. It's it's kind of funny because she she's in a little podunk town in which a branch of the company is in Maryland, and in her Twitter account it shows as Baltimore, Maryland, which she's not in Baltimore. She's not in Baltimore. They might say like Baltimore is Germany, but Baltimore's not. The Baltimore is a big old town, and the Elder Scrolls has to branch out from the different places through what's called Maryland. Going from Maryland all the way to Washington, and then from Washington and branch back over to Maryland, and wherever the connections, like we have to be connected. And so this site right here that you're seeing, you can go on to it and in total, and it works. It's a basic link into every single kind of game series Elder Scrolls has. And so I'll go into it in a little bit, but this is the important part, that we're seeing an actual connection. You can rely on this site because it's not only has it been just paid, but it's continuing the internet connection. We have an actual backing for Elder Scrolls, and not only that, Elder Scrolls goes into multiple different areas of helping out society. So I'm going to go into that in a little bit. For right now, I'm going to go off of the screen and I'm going to leave TES on the screen. This is the basic. This is basically TES. Like when you see like the Elder Scrolls, you like the beginning word of the is T, and then in Elder it's E, and then S is scrolls. So it's like hence the word TES. Fortunate enough to get the word in of the internet here. This is TES internet. This is the actual internet's called TES, and so it's like it's a basic sweet thing. So I'm gonna go off the screen and just leave TES on, and let you guys look in there. We have a lot of work to do, where with both High Isle and Necrom, and there's some distinctions of what High Isle actually is. I've seen in the different places where it's now called Microsoft Doom Eternal, which there's some that are trying to get the game Doom on there. Well, we can't exactly do that. I've tried to explain that in written form, but now that you're hearing the spoken form, we need to have High Isle in there correctly, because the only thing we have for when you type in like Elder Scrolls Online High Isle, you see Microsoft Doom Eternal, and you see a picture of Xbox Game Pass. If it just shows Microsoft Doom Eternal and then it has a different picture that of like totally something else, it could be Starflight X, or it could be it's Starflight X. I call it Starflight X for the relation of goes back to the old story that goes back to Redguard. And if you know anything about Elder Scrolls, that's a relation. Redguard has a relation to Starflight X. It's actually funny. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave Tess on, and I will be back in a little bit. This is a total celebration. So, those of you in Elder Scrolls land, big celebration for us. I'm gonna have to look a little bit more into the system. Right now, I was looking at the I was looking at the what was giving us problems. It's actual updates, like, and what I was talking about back before here in the recent past, as I was talking about, I'm getting caught up, and I'm getting caught up quite fairly quick, and that's a good thing, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the system completely paid, and to where we can have a good running system in the bare best system that we have available. It's over in what's called Steam, and the actual battery in Steam is beautiful. It's a basic plastic vessel that holds an orb of light for the battery. The battery's not an actual physical battery. The actual battery is an orb of light, and that helps sustain our internet, like the little molecules. And I'll show some sites, quite possibly, of the landing site that here at the house where I'm talking inside of the house. The landing site is where, like, on the military vehicles, the aircraft, where they'll be able to land on the designated planet that we want to land on. And that's going to take Starflight X. I was kind of led to talking about a gal, Maluka. Well, Maluka's all over the place, and I tried to the one of the other Elder Scrolls people says, are you referring about Maluka? And so I wrote to the person and said, hey, I want you to come over, and I want us to beat the Magus. The Magus is in part of the game of High Isle. We need to beat the Magus. There's some bad things, and I'm going in here really quick, and I'm talking real quick. Over in the building that I was recently in, the actual Razer electronic mouse was taken. I am not completely understanding why the Razer electronic mouse was taken, but it was taken. It's not here, and we have to do a couple of different things. So once that either comes up, or the person gets made to pay for the system, what it's going to take is for that person to actually pay for an actual physical electronic Razer mouse for me, and the person is going to have to pay an additional full price of what the electronic Razer mouse is worth. So the person's going to have to pay double for actually taking the electronic mouse. That really sucks for a person who wants to actually take things that's not theirs. So I'm going to leave Tess on here, and I'll be back in a little bit. Ah, okay, just back on here. And she like that sound. Like, near, 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 near. This is great. I'm gonna get in here into the test site. Just a little bit of what's going on. This is a little stranger of what's going on with how like an electronic mouse is not working. I'm just going to go into a little bit of when the Elder Scrolls really like the online got released back in 1993. The Elder Scrolls universe actually came in, and what the imaginary world of Tamriel came in. Elder Scrolls Online really came in back in about it was about 2015 is when ESO actually got in. I was having some issues with Twitter, and the if you've ever dealt with Twitter and then having multiple accounts, like getting something in, like it's next to impossible. And so this right here, the TES is basically a game development for the Elder Scrolls universe. The series basically has 5 game versions with many different games within the different versions of the games. Like the the 5 versions that are out there, it's dawning on what's going on with the 6th and the 7th version. That's a little bit confusing over in ESO because the 6th version is High Isle and the 7th version is Necrom. It's very complex, and I'm just going to get into it here. This is just some of the branches within Elder Scrolls. Vesta is one of them, and this is just some of the things in tests where like the has the ESO map. It's a and electronics goes with like zeros and ones. That's the principle of electronics, and so right in here as you're seeing, the site is current with the year as the new year is coming up of 2024. But right now it's 2023, and all of the devices are running properly. As you can see, there's 2 forms of payments in Elder Scrolls. There's a monthly fee, and there's also a one-time fee of $19.99 and a monthly fee of $14.99. Um, very sweet stuff. It's looking in here of the as the summer has kind of ended and going further on in the year. In Elder Scrolls, it's what's called the first quarter, and as you can see, what on the site here that has the the game lists of the of the Elder Scrolls. Right in here, there's basically no more than this. Like in in the Elder Scrolls. There's a couple of things, but this is the basic bare bare brunt of the games within the system. As you can see over here, and when just by clicking on the button of High Isle, it's going to go into what says Microsoft Doom Eternal, which doesn't make really any sense. With we having the specific game that I work on is High Isle, and High Isle has basic three DLCs within the series, and so that's a specific game that I work with, and so as you can see, Necrom has a link, but I have not linked up Necrom yet. There's for the reason of Firesong and Scribes of Fate are not linking up properly. Somehow High Isle has got misinterpreted. It doesn't make any sense. The the three DLCs, which right now we're concentrating in High Isle of what's called Blackwood. I'm not gonna go and just click on a link and then like, hey, we'll go back into the test site. These things have to be known of what's going on inside of the system. Necrom is the current release of Elder Scrolls that just came out, that was released in June. There's been the available game of Necrom was available for pre-purchase, and it's available for pre-purchase right now because the company is working on getting the DLCs running correctly. And so I didn't link up Necrom just for the fact that the other DLCs are not working properly, such as Scribes of Fate and Firesong. Those are the two DLCs that I'm concentrating on. Getting those in. I'm not for sure how that works in Google, but I'm just going to show here a couple of things like there's two games that are played as card games, and those are important games within Elder Scrolls, such as Legends and Tales of Tribute. And the Legends kind of goes over to High Isle, and then the Tales of Tribute go over to Necrom. So that's kind of a good mentality to go off of. Right now, since the wire is working properly, I don't want to just disconnect the landline, because if I disconnect that, the connection possibly might be interrupted. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all connected right now. There can't be any more devices that can be connected in the system here at home. But like through you guys' devices, the system does work. It works through your devices. For instance, like an Android or your Macintosh or your personal computer, your iPad, your iPhone, or whatever computerized device you regularly use. There's multiple devices that are run on computerized systems, and so I'm just going to explain how Firesong and Scribes of Fate have to be concentrated on in the system in order for the system to work. This has been a seen problem from before, and I don't know why High Isle was changed over, because that was the groundbreaking game coming into getting ESO off the ground. High Isle is the groundbreaking game that we're working on to move forward over into the current game series of Necrom. Necrom's kind of like the Dungeons and Dragons replica. Some of the things that I'm seeing, that are a problem that you might see in the system is that the game series of Zelda, the the some of the background, the basic background of Zelda is Elder Scrolls, which is not regularly known. I've written it in different places throughout the internet that Zelda is really being overrated. There's a lot of things that are being produced through Zelda from Elder Scrolls, but Elder Scrolls is not getting the credit of the some of the animations within the system. And so knowing that, there's a lot of good stuff. So I'm gonna go right here of I don't want to show the malfunctions. I want to show that the system is actually working. And so I'm gonna be able to get caught up here fairly soon. But it takes money. And so the what I'm talking about with the problems of updating a system, the system has to be paid. We can't just input information in and then expect that it runs correctly. And what I'm explaining with the updates is that we have to have things like Blackwood, Greymore, Scalebreaker. All of these games have to be paid in order for the system to work. The one of the games I was talking about earlier, Redguard, with like Starflight X, Redguard has the bearings between Starflight X and Starfield. Starfield is kind of it's a baby of another Elder Scrolls person, and I don't know them personally, but I do know they have the same mindset that I do, and so just gonna look in here, give this to you guys here as I'm going to go off of the screen, and I'm going to let you look at here at TES where I want you to go into the elderscrolls.com and you can check out what's working and what's not. It's going to be some good stuff to where you're not going to be able to pay for every little piece within the Elder Scrolls, but there's a start on where you'll want to get you want to get started. And so I'm just going to leave this on here for right now, and then I will be back. I might be taking off the landline wire to get the wire set up for the devices, because in the system a total of 5 devices can be ran at the same time, and no more can be put in here in the actual internet system of TES. So that's kind of what I'm explaining right now of the importance that we have an actual connection. Well the devices are all connected to where they're going throughout the world, and that's the great that's the blessed thing, the good thing. And so I'm going to go off the screen and leave TES on here, and this is some good stuff. So I'm grateful that the system is working, and that not only you can see me communicating, but you'll notice that your system is running as well. Okay, just got back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off of the screen, but I'm going to leave tests on. And what I'm going to do here, having some issues with the ESO and some connection issues over on the mainframe of ESO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off of the screen and I'm going to leave this on here, and I'm going to disconnect the landline, and hopefully we can keep the connection, or the connection will come back on, and you'll see it on here. The battery has to be charged, and so that's a simple thing. But I'm going to go off the screen, and so if you see that there's not a connection right away, don't worry, because I'm going to try to um, get this back, the get it back on, because the connections have just come in. Um, there's a total of 5 devices that are being used right now, and so what will happen is we need to see that the connections are working over on ESO. The screen is not fully, the Steam controller is not connecting properly like it should on the other screen. So I'm gonna go off the screen here and leave test on, and should be back here in a little bit.